Democratic Congressman John Garamendi of California, member of the House Armed Services Committee, is with us now. Congressman, I know it's loud there in Statuary Hall. We appreciate it, especially when the House is in session. What happened to speaking softly?
Speaking truthfully is always better than speaking softly or shouting things out. The facts are that Russia started this war, presumably, well, not presumably, by their own words, started this war to make Ukraine a vassal state, totally dependent on Russia. Ukraine had a different idea. The Ukrainians, led by President Zelenskyy, said, no, we're not going to be a puppet of Putin. We're going to be our own country. And they have extraordinarily defeated the Russian army in the Great Battle of Kyiv. The Russian army was flat out defeated there. Now the Russians are trying a different tactic, and I would suspect that they're going to be defeated there also. The end result of this defeat in Kyiv is a Russia that is less strong. And when they lose this next big battle for the eastern part of Ukraine, they will be even weaker. Those are the facts. So we hear the Secretary of Defense speaking the truth.
Fair enough there. Clearly a change from speaking softly, as you noted. This is a tweet from the Ukrainian foreign minister, response to the Russian foreign minister nuclear comments. Russia's loses last hope to scare off the world supporting Ukraine, thus the talk of real danger of World War III. This only means Moscow senses defeat in Ukraine. Therefore, the world must double down on supporting Ukraine so that we will prevail and safeguard European and global security. Do you see no risk in the strong language from Secretary Blinken and Secretary Austin?
No, I don't. I think it is the truthful language, and I think we all ought to be aware that the war that was started by Putin for the purpose of subjugating Ukraine is Putin's responsibility. Now, with regard to the issue of nuclear, the Russians have had a very clear role for their nuclear weapons, and that is to protect Russia from an invasion. They call it to escalate, to de-escalate. That is, if NATO or Ukraine were to invade Russia, then the doctrine that Putin and the Russians have is that they would use a tactical nuclear weapon. Now, let's be clear that tactical doesn't mean small. It means that it would be used in a tactical way, in this case, to stop an invasion.
Yeah, Congressman, I hate to interrupt you, but we've also learned that Russian doctrine says that if they're losing tactically, whether they're invaded or not, if they're losing tactically, you escalate to de-escalate. Is there any danger, not in providing weapons, which I think you and I both are on the same page on, and it's worked marvelously well. Is there any danger in this kind of rhetoric of giving Vladimir Putin an excuse to draw America into this from a proxy war to a real war?
Well, there's always a possibility of that, and that is why the United States has been very, very clear from the outset that we're not going to put American troops into Ukraine, and all of the NATO countries, and also the European Union, have been equally clear that we are not, NATO and the European countries are not going to invade Russia. That's not the point of NATO. NATO's point and purpose is totally defensive, not offensive. Our support for Ukraine is to give the necessary equipment and financial support and humanitarian support so that Ukraine can defend itself. And that's precisely what we're doing. I suspect that the Russians would like to believe this story, that by rattling the nuclear saber, they will be able to cause NATO or the United States or any other supporter of Ukraine to back off. That obviously has not happened. One miscalculation after another should be chalked up to Mr. Putin. What has happened as a result of his invasion of Ukraine is a monumental defeat of his army.
No question.
When they tried to capture
Kyiv.
And a second defeat is on its way.
Yeah, well, a second defeat there, and obviously the economic costs as well. They just cut off gas to Poland and Bulgaria, so that's the diplomatic escalation. Congressman, it was good to see you, sir. Thank you.
One more word, and that is Putin was managed to take a disorganized NATO and turn it into a very organized and powerful force. Leland, it's always good to be with you. Thank you.
Very well said, and an excellent point, which many American presidents hadn't been able to do. Thank you, sir. It was good to see you.
Exactly.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.